The okay. Everyone, please say it 3 times together. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Good evening once again to everyone. Before we start, I would like to do the same wish. May this meditation session also bring may this meditation also bring you at least a little peace and little happiness for your life, right? May this meditation session also help you to develop in the Dhamma practice further. So with that wish, we are going to start today's session too. So dear Dhamma friends, we are gradually developing in our meditation practice. So, on May, you began with the first, so all students, I mean, so they began the Vipassana meditation with the first step, right, observing the head area. Then now, so you passed almost 5 steps, and on the 6th step, now we are observing the whole body. So, right? So, from top to bottom, so you are observing the whole body. And if you feel sensations well, then if you can increase the time at home, so please observe the body from top to bottom first. And then after that, so start observing the body, sensations of the body from bottom to top. And don't ignore any kind of, any sensation. All the sensations are equally important. Don't take any sensation light. All sensations have a connection to one or another, defilement. So whenever you develop a defilement inside your mind, so that way defilement generates certain kind of sensations on your body. So the body reacts to that negative thought, so with certain kind of sensations. So when you develop positive thoughts too, it is the same. So they also have its own sensations. So you will encounter both these sensations, kinds of sensations. Sometimes, since now you are developing, sometimes you might experience very difficult sensations. Sometimes you will feel like your back is on fire, right? So sometimes you will feel like you will feel such kind of sensations, right? Then they have direct contact with your anger, deep-rooted anger. So we have such kind of angers too. So when anger reaches that level, we call it the hatred, right? So the hatred has a connection with such kind of sensation. Whenever we develop hatred towards someone, so we develop such kind of sensations on our body. but we don't see that. Can you understand? We don't see that. But now, so they arise on your body too. So naturally, or sometimes because your mind is getting so calmer, purer. So because of that, when they come up too, so accept it as it is. Because it is hard, it is painful or difficult, don't run away. So take it as an opportunity to reduce your thoughts of anger or thoughts of hatred, right? So when you deal with any sensation, so so the energy level of so the negative thoughts which are related to those sensations, they go down. Each and every moment it happens. And when these kinds of sensations also come, so don't feel afraid, right? So with a very strong determination, please face it. That will also pass away sooner or later. Sometimes, so you will feel so very comfortable sensations too. Sometimes, so you will feel like, so on certain parts of your body, you will feel like, so certain sensations which are like, so electricity, electrifying sensations, right? So you feel like, so sometimes during the Christmas time, so we put up lights, right? So those lights, so on Vesak Day too, we had those lights. So those lights, they always turn on and turn off. They turn on and turn off. Just like that, on your body, in certain areas, sometimes you will feel such kind of sensations. When you feel such kind of sensations, what you have to do is, so you should not think that, oh, this is what I was seeking for. No, right? They are so pleasing, that's true, but don't attach. Again, so you have to consider them just like the other sensations. So then what you have to do is, so observe them objectively as they are, with the understanding that these pleasing sensations, so they are also rise to pass away. They are rising and passing away. Rising and passing away. Right. So, right. I muted the report. Yeah. So, then hope we can. So, if you hear, can one of the online students, so put a message. Right. Right. Yes. Right. So, right. So those sensations, so you should not favor them. Instead, you have to observe them with the same understanding. They have the same faith. They also rise, pass. Later on, when I don't know whether you go up to that stage, but somehow, so you are going to feel them all around your body, and you are going to go beyond. But right now, I'm not going to tell about those experiences. So that's enough. So, because next time when you sit, so you will, instead of developing balance of your mind, you will start developing craving. Oh, can I also feel the same kind of sensations on my body? So if you sit and practice like that, then you are not going to develop, right? So somehow, so whatever the sensations that you encounter, treat them equally. Understand their nature, right? Whatever the sensations they're impermanent, changing, right? Then, so that is the advice for so Vipassana students. So new students, they are kindly requested to practice breathing meditation. First step. Okay. So what you have to do is, please pay your entire attention to your breath. When the breath is coming in, please be fully aware. When it is going out, please be fully aware. If it is long, let it be so. If it is short, let it be so. Just keep on being aware, right? But don't go with the breath all the way in. Stop your observation at the end of your nostrils, right? So then pay your entire attention and try to develop your concentration and calmness of your mind as much as possible, right? Whatever things that are related to your job or day-to-day life, everything, please leave them behind, right? When you are practicing meditation. Even though such kind of thoughts comes into your mind, tell yourself, right now, this is the time for meditation, not to think about such kind of stuff, right? Thinking so, focus and develop concentration and calmness of the mind as much as possible, right? And Vipassana students, they are again so reminded to keep the posture of determination, right? Throughout the meditation time, make a very strong determination, right? Throughout those 30 minutes. So I won't change my posture. So with a very strong determination, I will sit, and then I won't change my posture until the bell rings, right? So for 15 minutes, it'll be fine. After that, real test begins. So somehow work hard, right? This is to go deeper. This is to go deeper. So please keep working hard, right? So keep on observing. So keep on maintaining the posture. So the same until the end of the silent meditation time. So this is not applicable to the students who began recently or who are practicing breathing meditation. They can change their posture, but right. So take my music.
شروع لاف کراشش هم اونجا شروع کراشش با یه بار بریم چه خبره.
Can you mute? All right. Yeah, right. So yeah. So please practice like that. So very ardently. And maintain the same posture. So new students, they are reminded to um, so to change the posture whenever it's uncomfortable, but try to as much as possible. So try to maintain the posture. But if it is painful at that time, so you can change, right? Only Vipassana students are kindly requested to maintain the posture until the end, right? And during these days, I'm teaching you briefly about the karma, theory of karma too. So everyone, please be quick. Today too, I will teach. So 4 very important factors related to the karma. So we learned already about the facts. What are the karmas? And then about the times that they function, right? And then so we learned about those things. So today we are going to learn about the classification of karma according to the priority of effect. According to the priority of effect, which karma comes first in life when they affect us, right? Right. Number one, right? Number one, Veti karmas. So Veti karma. Veti karma means in Pali they are called as Garuga karmas. You know weight, right? So Veti karmas. So Veti karmas, they are the heavy karmas. So that we have done in our life. So in this life or in the past. So always, so they affect first, right? So throughout the life, they are the ones who affect first. If there is a Vedic karma, they affect first before all the other karmas. Got it? For an example, so for an example, so bad karmas like matricide, so killing mother, killing father, and then after that, so killing enlightened beings, and then uh, separating the Sangha community, right? Then after that, such kind of actions, so they affect first. They are weighty karmas, very strong negative karmas, right? Then very strong positive karmas. Very strong positive karmas means if you practice jhanas, so if you develop your mind to the jhanic levels, they are very strong positive karmas. And then so if you um, if you build places for the sick people, that means hospitals, and if you make places for poor people, right? And then if you build places for the sangha to practice, so such kind of karmas. So and then there is time that sangha, so that time is the one which we are spending right now, so which is called as the Varshavas period. So during that time, so Mahasangha, so they are on a retreat, 3 months long retreat. So they keep practicing, staying at one place without going anywhere else. So during that time, if someone helped the Sangha, if someone does such kind of things, so then so they are very strong good karmas. And taking care of the parents. So taking care of the parents, well, so those are very strong good karmas. So those karmas affect first, right? So those karmas affect first. And then number two, so if those karmas don't affect, if there is no those karmas remaining, right? At such times, so uh, the habitual karmas, they affect. Habitual karmas means, in Pali, they are called as achinna karmas. Achinna karmas. So there are certain karmas that we do as a habit, right? So for an example, let's say someone keeps on giving dana, right? Someone keeps on giving so giving, donating things to the other people again and again and again. So they affect throughout the life first. Even at the brim of someone's death, it is the same. If there is no any Vedic karma to affect, what comes into your mind is these karmas that you multiply throughout the life. If you are practicing, so if you are practicing moral qualities like not killing, not stealing, so not practicing sexual misconduct, not lying, or not taking intoxicants, or not using separatist speech to separate people. So such kind of good karmas that you have been doing, so they come into your, so throughout the life too, they come second to effect. And at the same time, so at the brim of your death too, they are the ones which comes into your mind before you pass away. If there is no any weighty karma to affect, right? Then number 3, so uh, so so it is the karma. You can write it like this: it is the karma which one habitually performs and recollects, and for which one has a great liking, right? Not only you, so it should be a karma that you do constantly with happiness, right? So those karmas affect secondly to anybody. Let it be a Buddhist, Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Jain, Jew, atheist, agnostic, anybody. So this is universal. So then third one, proximate karmas. So third one is the proximate karmas. Pali word is asanna karma. Asanna karma. So this is the karma which one does or remembers immediately before the moment of dying. Right? So sometimes, so you do said, so these karmas come into effect. So during the at the brim of your death, mostly, right? So these proximate karmas. So if there is no any Vedic karma to come into someone's mind during the time that person is dying, or if there is no any habitual karma to come into mind, if you don't have any habitual karma, right, that you are doing, then so these kinds of proximate karmas come into mind. So that might be a karma that you have done, but so it had done it had made a deep impact inside you, right? For an example, so if you have, so on the way, you find a really poor, helpless person. You help that person. And then you see that person becomes so happy. Then you forget it. But at the brim of your death, so you start to remember all the things so that you did during your life. And at such times, so so if there is no any Vedic karma to come and focus, if there is no any habitual karma to come and focus, then at such times, what happens is these kinds of proximate karmas that you have done, they come into your mind. When you pass away, you remember that karma and pass away, right? And you will, according to the karma that you remembered, so you will have a good life or bad life. But you have to understand, even though you get a good life or bad life, you need to have so supportive karmas to continue. Can you understand? I told you about supportive karmas last time, so I won't go into details. It is like this. You buy a good, let's go Tesla, Meridiano, Lucido, good car. Okay. So you buy a good electric car, but at your home, you don't have electricity. Then what you have to do? Until it has the battery, use it. After that, you have to sell it. Just like that, even sometimes a bad person who lived a bad life, at the brim of the death, that person might remember something good and can be born in a good place. And at the same time, a person who was doing good throughout the life, at the brim of the death, that person might think about a bad thing that person did in life and can be born in a bad life. But that both those people cannot maintain that life for a long time. So why? No fuel. So that such kind of people then, or beings, such kind of beings, they die. So they go away from that life very soon, right? So so this is the third kind of karma. So asana karma, proximate karmas. And this is very important. So let's suppose one of your relative is dying, right? Instead of going to that person and crying, saying, oh, but don't pass away, or what has happened, like that. So please remind that person about the good things that person has done in life, right? So about the good things that person has done in life. That's what you can do for such kind of person. Correct? And I gave you a book, a new book. Now you have to do something. This book, you have to use it as a book of merits. Whenever you did the good action, you have to write down that good action on this book. Put the date and write down. On this day, I gave $2 to a poor person. It may be a small thing, it may be a big thing. Today, I volunteered. So I came early and volunteered, set up the whole hall, the total hall for the meditators. Or today, somebody didn't know something, so I explained that person. Took time and explained this to that person. Or there is a poor person or a senior citizen or a sick person, I helped that person. Like that, please write it down on the book that I gave. Right? So later on, I am going to ask you whether you are doing it. Right? So this is the book of merits. So keep on continuing. And so collect these kinds of books, right? This is the starting point throughout the life. Keep on writing. And so you won't be healthy like this throughout your life. There'll be a time that you reach your old age. Keep on reading about this. All these notebooks. And when you are reaching your last periods, ask your children or relatives to do a favor. Ask them to read it. So sitting in front of you, and keep on thinking about these good things. This is a lifelong action. It begins today. Okay. And final one, katatta karma. So reserve karmas. Final one. These are because of done karmas. Sometimes all these three kinds of karmas, they don't come into your mind, right? But there are forgotten light karmas in your life at the brim of the death. So during the day-to-day life too, they affect like that. And so at the brim of the death too. So these kinds, if the other three karmas are not there to come into your mind, so these katatta karmas, so reserve karmas, they come into mind and you focus on it accordingly. You will be born in a good realm or a bad realm, right? So they are not significant. So they are not in your mind too. I mean, so you didn't remember them regularly, but accidentally such kind of memory comes into your mind, and then you remember those karmas. And during the time that you're passing away, they help you to be born at a good realm or a bad realm. Got it? Reserve karmas. Katatta. These are the 4 kinds of karmas. Now you know. So the karmas, so according to the priority, so that they take to effect, right? Everyone, please keep your back straight, neck straight, and head straight. Please keep your right palm on your left palm. And please concentrate. First, I'm going to pay our respect and gratitude towards Buddha. And after that, we are going to start. So today's silent meditation time. Please concentrate. Namo tassa bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo tase bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tase bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Itimiso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho. Vinyacharana sampanno sungato lokavidu. Anuttaro purisadhamma sarati. Sata deva manusanam buddho bhagavati. Swakato bhagavata dhammo sangdittiko akaliko. Ehi pasiko opanaiko paccatang veditammo vinyuhiti. Supanipanno bhagavato savaka sangho. Ujupanimangno bhagavato savaka sangho. Nyaya patipanno bhagavato savaka sangho. Sami cipanipanno bhagavato savaka sangho. Yadinang chattari purisa yugani Ate purisa puggala Esa bhagavato savaka sangho. Ahuneyo pahuneyo Nakineyo anjali karaniyo. Anutterang punyakhitang lokasati. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. With a very calm mind, with a very quiet mind, with an alert, very attentive mind, with a balanced, very equanimous mind. Everyone, please start your meditation. If you are practicing breathing meditation, please practice breathing meditation. If you are practicing vipassana meditation, please keep doing so. Whatever the meditation practice that you practice, in your meditation be very, very successful. Very, very successful. Everyone, please start your meditation right now. Now, so if your legs are painful, if your legs are paining, you can change the posture. So Vipassana students, they will be requested to stay the same. The other students, if they want, they can change their posture. Now we are going to practice loving kindness meditation and share our loving kindness with all the beings in the world, step by step. First, let's share our loving kindness with yourself. May I be well. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I be really peaceful. Please spread your sincere loving kindness towards yourself first. Now, let's spread our loving kindness towards our parents, teachers, relatives, and friends. Me, my dear mother, me, my dear father, me, my dear teachers, relatives, and friends. Be well, be happy, be peaceful. May they be very peaceful. Please spread your sincere loving kindness towards your dear parents, teachers, relatives, and friends. Now, let's spread our loving kindness towards the neutral people, the people who are not our friends, at the same time who are the people who are not our enemies, those people who are in the middle. May all the neutral people be well. May all the neutral people be happy. May all the neutral people be peaceful. May they be very peaceful. Please spread your sincere loving kindness towards all the neutral people. Now, let's spread our loving kindness towards our enemies, the people that we don't like, at the same time, those people who don't like us. So, who consider us as enemies. Towards all those people, let's spread our sincere loving kindness. May my enemies also be well. May my enemies also be happy. May my enemies also be peaceful. May they be very peaceful. Please spread your sincere loving kindness towards your enemies. Now, let's spread our loving kindness towards all the beings in the world. Human beings, animals, fish, birds, reptiles, visible or invisible beings. Please think about all the beings who have different appearances, different bodies, different capabilities. Let's spread our sincere loving kindness to all those beings. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be very peaceful. Please spread your loving kindness towards all the beings in the world. All the beings in the world. Bhavato sampe mangalang rakanto sampe devatam samme buddhanupami samme dhammanupami samme sanghanupami sada sutti bhavang tutti. Satu, satu, satu. Now, everyone, please calmly open your eyes. You can relax your posture. Let your whole body to relax from top to bottom and bottom to top. Now, everyone, please slowly join your palms together and say 3 times, Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. Dear Dhamma friends, so that is the end of today's silent meditation session. I would like to kindly remind all the Vipassana students to do the same at home. So if you sit for 15 minutes or 20 minutes or as much as time that you sit in the morning and evening, during that time, please practice this aditthana, determination. When you sit determined, whatever it happens, I'm not going to change my posture. I will keep my posture the same, right? So thinking so until the alarm rings. So maintain your posture. It's hard, but it burns out a lot of negativities. At the end, so from 15 to 20 minutes, it's fine. Then after that, so torture begins. So then you start feeling various kinds of uncomfortable sensations on your legs, on your back, sometimes on your neck. So they begin. Then somehow, then mind so bothers you, right? It asks you to check the time, right? Sometimes, so you think, oh, maybe Bhante might have forgotten the time. Bhante might have gone deeper in the meditation. He has forgotten us. No, it won't happen. I'm on check. So about the time, so maintain the posture. Right then, at the same time, when you practice, so the Vipassana students, when they practice that, so aditthana meditation practice, I mean, when you practice the aditthana determination, at such time, so don't focus on the 30th minute. That's important. What you are trying to do is, you have developed your concentration to a considerable level than the others. But what you are doing is, so you are trying to hold it, right? Hold your mind more tightly, so with your focus. So onto the one objective. That's what you are trying to do during the adityan time. So you try to bring your mind, and so you try to let it focus on the present moment fully, 100% to 200%. That's what you are doing, right? Earlier so it was always wandering, but you calmed it down to a small level. But now you are going to go deeper than that, right? And so if the mind is not that much concentrated, then you won't see the sensations fully. But when your mind becomes so sensitive, so because of this practice, then you start to see the sensations fully, right? So if you only felt gross sensations, so later on, when you could concentrate on the present moment completely, right? So when you gain the ability to focus on the present moment, present sensations fully, then what happens is you start to you start to see so many sensations. So when you observe your body, can you understand? So that's what is happening. So per card, I know it's difficult. So if your legs are paining, you are very allowed to direct your legs towards the walls, so not towards the teacher. So I mean Vipassana students. If it is manageable, that's wonderful. Right. So please practice like that. So that's for Vipassana students. When you practice at home too, please sit with this strong aditya, determination. Whatever it happens, I am not going to move my posture, right? So new students, don't try this right now, because then the meditation will turn into a torturing something experience. Then you will lose the interest, some of you. So therefore, so um, first you have to get used to the preliminary stage. So for the students who are practicing breathing meditation, they are asked to practice as you practice, right? But later on, you have to come to this stage too. Okay, I will teach you gradually. Okay, but Vipassana meditators, they are asked to practice like that. Now we already discussed about the Eight Noble Path, and now we know what we are developing inside, where we are heading. We know, we have clarity about the path where you are heading. Starting from today, as I promised, I'm going to teach you about 10 things that Vipassana meditators specifically, not only Vipassana meditators, the others also, but specifically Vipassana meditators must practice in life. They are called as Dasaparami in Pali, those days language. Its meaning is 10 perfections. 10 perfections. So today I'm going to teach you about the first perfection. First perfection, dana. First perfection, you can write it down. Dana, that means generosity. Generosity is the first one. So, do you practice generosity in life? Have you ever practiced generosity? If you have practiced generosity in life, please hands up. Right, very nice. Hands down. Almost all of you have practiced generosity, right? Giving. But we have to understand all givings are not generosities. People give things. For an example, so certain people give things out of fear, right? Right. Let's say a robber comes to your house with a pistol or a gun, or if that the robber doesn't have those things, with the knife, and threatens you. Give me all the things, that all the valuables at your house. Then you give. You don't give saying, oh robber, please take all these things. Thank you so much for coming. You don't do like that. You give with aversion. Oh, this man abducts everything that I earned throughout my life, with anger. But because you like the life, to save your life, you give whatever you have. That's giving, but it's not done. Okay. Then certain people give because, so in dharmic traditions, so we are supposed to practice danas when someone passed away in a family. Certain people believe if they don't give the dana, the old the departed relative will come come to harm you. So that person gives dana thinking, may that departed person's spirit won't come to my house. Thinking so, thinking like that, certain people give out of fear of ghosts. Certain people give, that's not good dana too. Somehow, because of any reason, practicing dana is good, but so certain people give out of fear. That's also not a proper dana. And then, so you give taxes, right? You file taxes every year. So do you go to the government office and donate it like, oh, please, government officer, tax officer, please take my taxes? Do you do like that? No, you cut down as much as possible from your tax and you give the must part that you have to give. But so with your lawyer, you cut down as much as possible, right? So sometimes certain people lie too, right? Somehow tax, you give taxes, but it's not a dana, right? And then certain people give out of so romance, so love. So there are affairs. At such times, two people give, like, right? So they give because that's that person's fiance, right? So to please that person, you give. Okay. On the Valentine's Day, you buy a very nice gift and you bring it and give, right? So then certain people give so out of so aversion too. That means out of jealousy, certain people give. So there, and certain people give out of ignorance too, right? Certain people give to disgrace the other person, right? Certain people give things to disgrace the other person. And certain people give because it is the tradition of their forefathers. Oh, my father and mother gave, and my grandpa and grandma gave, and my great grandpa and great grandma gave, and my great great grandpa and great great grandma gave. So all my forefathers give. So it is not good for me to not to give. So I give. Certain people give like that. That's also not a proper dana, right? And so certain people give, okay, by giving, I will get a lot of merits, a lot of good karma. And then because of that, I will be born in the divine realms. That's a good thought, but still, so it's not, it doesn't become a very pure dana because you give with an expectation. But the best dana according to Buddha is if someone gives, so thinking that because of this dana practice of dana, may my craving go away, may my aversion go away, may my ignorance go away, right? So may I develop in this Dhamma path, thinking so if you give dana to make your mind purified, make to develop a pure mind, that's the best dana, right? Then so you give danas with two kinds of mindsets. So so first dana is, so you practice generosity as an offering. So you donate things as an offering. That's the first kind, first mindset. So the mindset of offering. So for Bhantes and for adults, right? For your parents, you actually not give its offering, right? You give with respect, right? So to gods, so people give. That's an offering. And then second mindset is supportive mindset. So donating things as a support. These two are called in ancient terms as, so according to Buddha, puja buddhi and anuggaha buddhi. Right? Puja, offering, anuggaha, support. Okay. And then uh, all the givings that you give, so according to things that you give, it's threefold, right? First one is, so is dana, giving material things. That is the first kind of dana that you can practice in life. Giving material things. Let's say you give so food, material, clothing, material, medication, material, houses, material, money, material. So all those things are material givings, right? So they are called, in ancient terms, they are called as amisadanas, material givings. Second kind, so more than giving them, second kind of giving is the best. What is that? Abhedana, giving life. So giving life, that means, so if you donate blood, right? If you donate platelets, or if somebody is very sick and about to, so because of some kind of sickness, that person is very sick and about to pass away. But through your donations, you can help that person to revive. So you help that person. Or let's say there are birds or other animals who are dedicated to kill, but you give money and you save them, right? These are so giving of life, donation of life. So this is the second kind of dana. There is a dana which is bigger than this, which is the third one. Dharma dana, giving dharma. That's what Bhante is doing, right? So dharma dana, not only Bhante is doing, all of you are doing too. Let's see how it is, right? So dharma dana means, so teaching, donating dharma. So if you teach dharma, that's a way of donating dharma. If you write dharma books, right? So let's say I write, killing is not good, stealing is not good. These are the facts. This is why you should not do that, right? So practicing sexual misconduct, lying, taking intoxicant, that's wrong. That's not good. So I write. Oh, this is impermanence, this is suffering, this is no self, right? This is the Eight Noble Path. These are the Four Noble Truths, right? You already learn all those things. So these are the So uh, five enemies of meditation and life, right? These are the 4 friends of meditation and life. So you write and give, donate. Now, either you write or you help someone to print such kind of book and distribute, right? Or so you help like that, or you help a temple to continue, right? So this temple, so my master began the temple with 12 devotees, 12 families. They didn't support this won't continue, right? Today, this temple continues because thanks to all the devotees who financially and materially support the temple, right? So this is also continuing because of such kind of devotees. They are also practicing dharma. And whatever you learn, you share. So even though you share at least a few words with your family members, your children, your parents, or anybody, so that's dharma, practice of so generosity of dharma. So if not, you place boats, right? Or you give rights to rights for the dharma teachers to go here and there to teach dharma. And so whenever you have time, you come early and you place everything nicely so that Bhante doesn't have to engage with that. So then somehow, that's kidding. So if you prepare the place, right, places for the other people to learn the dharma, these are so nice so practices of dharma, right? Donating dharma. And then so when you practice dana, actually you give the other people 5 things, right? So what are the 5 things? Number 1, right. So Mr. Bhanu, I have taught this at all dana houses, right? Namal, can you remember? Number 1, when you give a dana, please write down. You give 5 things. So we have fruits here. There are food items. Another thing, whatever you give 5 things. Number 1 is long life. Please write them down and keep in mind too. Second one is so beauty. When you give something, you give beauty, right? So when you eat food, what happens? You get nutrition, so the skin color becomes nice, right? So that's what happens. Number 3, mental and physical comfort. In this world, the most difficult sickness, the most difficult sickness in the world is so hunger and thirst. We have to face it every day. When you get it, right? So you don't feel easy. Whenever you give dana, you donate mental and physical comfort. Number 4, mental and physical strength. Mental and physical strength. Even to handle a needle, you need strength. When you give dana, when you offer things, when you donate things to the people, so not only for Bhantes and nuns, not only for sick people, there are poor people, there are so various kinds of people who need help in the world, right? So whenever you give these 5 things. So number 5 is wisdom. 5th one is wisdom. Wisdom is twofold: general wisdom and ultimate wisdom. So there are 2 wisdoms. General wisdom is needed to do the general life-related stuff. And so ultimate wisdom is needed to understand the Dharma deeply. Right? Whenever you get food, so it's spirit, it's nutrition. So it will generate fresh blood, it will go to your brain, and the brain works well. When the default mode network works well, you gain the ability. I taught you so on the very first day of this year, when we had the meditation, it has 3 abilities. Number 1, right? Default mode network of the brain. There's 3 things. So first one is, can anybody of you remember? Goal setting, memory processing, and deep thinking. Right? This becomes activated and you gain the ability to think deeply because it gets fresh blood. Oh, we have Dr. Mr. Adil. All right. So, right. Right. Okay. So that's what the default mode network does. Right. Then these are the 5 things that you donate. When according to the way that you donate, so you are threefold. So there are 3 categories of donors. First donor is the person who gives like a slave, right? Who gives like a slave. So that person gives, but that person doesn't care about the person who gets it. You give it just like a slave, no smile. So you don't give it respectfully, you just give it, and whatever you give, it's a very cheap thing, very cheap thing. So that person also, nobody can use it, but you just give for the sake of it, just like to a slave. Okay, take it. That person gives. This is the person who gives, so just like to a slave. This is the first one. Buddha's word is dana dasa. Right? Dasa means those days. So dasa means slave. Second one is dana sahayaka in those days language, Pali. That means the person who gives just like to a friend. So when you give something to a friend, you don't give very expensive things. At the same time, you don't give it a very inexpensive, cheap thing. Right? You give, so just like you eat, right? You use, right? And so you don't, so you give it, but there is no respect, but there is this friendliness, right? So with that mindset, you give. So that person is practicing dana just like to a friend. Right? Then the third one is dana pati, right? So dana pati means, so so the PO donor or the owner of giving, the owner of giving. This person gives something, so something best, right? According to that person. So it doesn't mean, so let's say there is a poor person. This person has only $10, and there is a billionaire. This person have $100, right? So then this poor person gives $10, and then that billionaire gives $100. So who is Dhanapati here? Who is the owner of Dhan? Poor person. Because that person did that person's maximum thing. Got it? So the amount, so amount doesn't matter. The intention matters, right? So, right. So Dhanapati, the owner of Dhan, is the one who practices Dana in the best way. And then when you did the Dana, you had to do 3 things. whenever you practice generosity, you must do these three things. For sure, you had to write down it on your book, on the book that I gave you, but it is not included in those three. First one is you. So you have to be happy before giving. Before you give, you have to be happy. It's number one. Before you give, please be happy. Oh, how wonderful! I'm going to get an opportunity to give. Right? So it doesn't matter whoever it is, let it be a dog or a cat or anybody, right? So not only Bhantes and nuns, not only so poor people, not only sick people, so all beings, right? For anybody before you give, you have to be happy. When you are giving to, you have to be happy. Oh, how wonderful! I can give right now. So it doesn't matter. So the worth of the thing which you give, it doesn't matter, right? So you can't give golden bracelets to a hen, right? It just needs a handful of grains. But give it, it doesn't cost a lot of money. But be happy when you are giving it, right? Oh, how nice. I could help this hen. Okay, okay, right. Then then the other one is after giving to, you have to be happy, right? After 1 year, so let's say, so you did some kind of giving today. 1 year or 10 year or so 20 or 30 years later, you have to think about it and you have to be happy. Oh, how wonderful! In 2024, on this particular month, on this particular day, I could practice dana. How nice! How wonderful! How lucky I am! You have to think like that. Okay, that's enough. So there are so many details that Buddha taught, but if I teach them, it will be the morning, and then but still the description won't end. So I just selected the most important things that you need to apply into your life, right? So the um, so these so the good karmas, good defects that you gain because of this dana. So your current life, all the comforts that you have right now, they have come to you because of your generosity in the past, right? Using that past generosity in the present, you have to accumulate. So using that past good karmas, so you have to accumulate, you have to do enough good karmas today to preserve good karmas for your future lives, right? You should not finish eating the past good karmas. Okay? Right? Please do like that and practice dana. Now we are going to conclude. Everyone, please think. Together, all of us gathered here and practiced this non-sectarian pure meditation technique and accumulated a lot of positive energy. By the power of all this positive energy, please think. May all our troubles be away. May all the good things happen in our lives. May we be able to live our life comfortably, peacefully, and happily. May we be able to develop in this Dhamma path, finally eradicating all the negativities, developing all the positivities. May all of us attain real peace, real happiness, Nibbana. With those thoughts, please concentrate. Abhivadana silese nichang vada pachaino Chattaro dhamma vaddhanti ayuvangno sukang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti me bate ato nibbana sampatti iminati samijjatu. May all of you be well. May all of you be happy. May all of you be very, very peaceful. Good night to everyone. Take rest and see you again on next Friday. Sukhi Hotu, Sukhi Hotu, Sukhi Hotu. Good night to everyone. Good night. Right. Right. Good night, Mrs. Rita.
Good night. Good night, Bande.
May you
Have a
be
good
happy.
night.
Good night.
Well,
Good
be
night,
well.
Mrs. Yes. Good night, Mrs. Jane.
Good night, Bonti. Have a good
May all the good happen. Mr. Ram, good night.
Good night. Good night, Bante. Thank you for the session.
May you be happy. Neha Didi, good night.
Good night, Bante. Thank you for
Good.
the session. Thank
May
you
you
very
be happy.
much.
So cute. All right. Mrs. Shireen, good night.
Good night, Bante. Thank